This is Channel Attitude. Your voice, your right, your freedom.
Bro. Oh, baby, I like it. Oh, yeah, baby, I like it. Oh, baby, I like it. Oh, yeah, baby, I like it. Oh.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the I Like It Raw Wrestling Review Show. I am your host, Jimmy T, but my co-host is not, unfortunately, Big Ray Hernandez. He's off on assignment somewhere in Tijuana, but not really. He's somewhere in New York City. Maybe he will show his face. We'll see. But in the meantime, my co-host, we got MS to the G and R to the B to the V joining me right here for I Like It Raw. Matt, what's going on? And thank you for joining us once again. What's happening, man? How you been?
Oh, fuck yeah.
I'm doing good, buddy. I'm doing good, buddy. It's another it's another glorious Tuesday morning here on the East Coast. Got my cup of coffee. And, I'm just chilling. Hey, what kind of coffee you got in Australia?
Coffee.
Oh, I mean, like, where do your beans come from?
All right. Let me tell you something. To the both of you, you're going to both roll your eyes. Yeah, roll your eyes, mofos. But Melbourne is known to have, and especially Australia in general, has the best coffee in the world.
Oh, my gosh.
We got coffee culture down here. I'm not a coffee drinker, boys, so I couldn't care less. But look into it. I'm not kidding.
All right.
I'm serious.
R to the B to the V. What's up, Rajah Jackson?
We're waking up with a little Coffee 101 as you're sipping your brew there. I've got my Baja's Blast Mountain Dew. That's my caffeine kick here in the States. I'm also not a coffee guy, but how do you know? Melbourne is the coffee capital of the world. And I did want to say,
that's what we say.
You get that pick me up, that little coffee kick in the morning. But I tell you what got me going. It was very uplifting. I've never realized that they're in your opening is those beautiful hot air balloons.
Yeah, well, first of all, it was thanks to Big Ray that made that little video skip, but it's both Melbourne and New York City together. That's the opening. So, yeah. So you see Melbourne City, you see
little
New York
Easter
City
egg in there.
Yeah, and the air balloons, I think, are from Melbourne, funny enough. I didn't make that intro, but I did the music, so that's all that matters. But anyway, fellas, we got a lot to talk about before we get into Raw, and this could end up becoming a bit of a debate. So, in saying that,
are we jumping into the news?
Yes, it's part of the news. Actually, as a matter of fact. What, are you going to do it for me, or am I doing it?
I got you. I'll produce it.
Go for it. Well, boys, we've got a bit to talk about. Now, as you can see I forgot. For a minute, I thought you guys disappeared. But anyway, as you can see with R to the B to the V, with his little header down there, Rick, I'm going to go to you first because I know you and Ben spoke about it on the Monday locker room. As I was telling you off the air, I was listening to it, but I didn't get to that point just yet. And I need to know how you feel, man. I can tell by your header how you feel, but tell me how you really feel.
Well, I guess we're talking about the incident there with one son of Rampage Jackson, Rhea Jackson. He's at Knox Pro out in California, which happens to be the promotion operated, run by Rikishi. Formerly had the tag of a WWE ID promotion. They made major headlines this past week. Not just major headlines, they pretty much stole the wrestling talk of the weekend, Jimmy. We have the footage out there. There is various cuts inside of this videotape that were early released. of an incident involving one Psycho Stu.
Psycho
Long
Stu.
time, I believe, like at least over a decade, and even longer, perhaps, involved in professional wrestling. Is even actually an American military veteran. So there was an instance where him and Raja are working, assumably some kind of angle, some setup, some hype. Backstage, he busts apparently a beer can over his head. Raja completely, no selling that, man. I ain't no worker. I'll play that game, toughening it up. Nobody's got this guy hip to the scene here. They're bringing him in. There's some more details there. Just going to kind of nutshell everything here. We obviously, everybody's seen the footage of inside the match. He goes in there. Can only be described at best as an Alabama slam. To me, it was just like beating an old rug. The way he picked him up, slammed him down, and then unleashed, immediately knocked unconscious, swallowed teeth, rushed to the hospital, is doing better now, but was in critical condition. All-out assault by this just maniac with absolute mental issues. We do see eventually some wrestlers coming in. We've heard word from that wrestler since then, but even footage afterwards, Raja is kind of crying, boo-hooing that he's tired of being picked on. He's had enough. He's going to take care of people, this and that. And it's just anything that stands up. He hasn't been arrested yet. You got to believe something like that is coming. We're getting word that the promotion is trying to cover it up right now. This is a complete, absolute mess and a disgrace to professional wrestling.
Wow.
Absolutely. Before I get into it, Matt, please tell us your thoughts about this whole situation, man.
All right, I'm gonna tell to you how I feel. Obviously, him getting in the ring and continuing to pummel on this guy while he's knocked out is not a good look in general. Aside from pro wrestling, but I think that there also might have been some miscommunication on the part of the organization that is the current wrestling promotion. There was, I guess, statements made as well that the whole incident with him getting the beer can smashed on his head was some sort of work and that he was supposed to get his payback. However, I don't believe that guy was professionally informed on what payback is, got in there and beat the shit out of this guy. So I think it's kind of a mix of a work and a shoot. I don't think that him beating the crap out of him was a work, obviously, because that guy's in critical condition. So somewhere along the way, something was not conveyed correctly to this guy. I'm not saying he's not responsible. He's a fighter. So after you see he's knocked out, there is no reason to sit there and continue to pummel on him. Like if he had just picked him up and slammed him down, looked at him, been done, I think it would have been a different situation. But the fact that he continued to pummel on the guy, that's where I think a lot of the outrage is coming from, putting this guy in critical condition.
Well, you're right about that. First of all, he went way too far. But first of all,
I'm not excusing him by any means. But
No, absolutely not. But I agree with you in many ways, though, Matt, because you know exactly where that's from, right, Rick? But anyway, but in all
for
seriousness,
a porno or a thriller to break out here. I don't.
I don't want to freaking laugh at this situation because it's not funny. But
Then why do we have porno music for?
there, it stopped. Happy fucking. No, anyway. People like a Raw on this show, all right, Rick, for crying out loud. So it's this Raw. We're going right in, bro. Come on. We do a porn over here. But anyway, in all seriousness, though, and how can I be serious after that? I do want to point out that, first of all, it wasn't a work where the beer can gimmick where he got hit over the head. He didn't know that was happening. It's not like he knew.
I don't believe that.
Well, first of all, he suffered a concussion just before that. So why would he say yes to a beer can spot?
Because it probably didn't hurt. The can was probably already pre-crinkled up, and he just hit him over the head with it.
It wasn't actually pre-crinkled. Everyone said, anyway, it doesn't matter.
Look, it is not a rough spot to the head. I do have a question here to backtrack here. Explain to us this concussion.
Okay,
are you trying to excuse all of this dude's obviously mental issues?
No. Wait a minute. Don't put words in my mouth. I'm not excusing him, but he did have a concussion while training. He got kicked right in the head. I've seen that footage of that. He got kicked nicely. Right spank right into the head. But that's not the point. Anyway, the point is he gets that. He didn't know that was happening.
I
Psycho
think he
Stu,
was. You can say in
well,
your
anyway,
opinion.
Psycho Stu thought he was one of the boys, right? And that's why he did it. And then the second he got hit with the can, you know what I mean? Everyone's like, yo, he's not one of the boys, not a worker, and blah, blah, blah. And he didn't know, so he apologized profusely about it, saying, I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. And his stupid friend, what's his name? AJ Mann, whatever the hell his name is, the guy with the cowboy hat. Was that his name? Rick?
Yeah, AJ there, the Samoan cowboy, which was prevalent in the old West,
Is he Samoan?
riding roughshod there with Doc Holliday and all them. He's actually part of the Inoue family. He's part of the bloodline.
What? No way, bro. He doesn't look it. Wow, that's shocking. But anyway, he was there on behalf of him, obviously, right? Now he's the one that he said to him, don't worry, you'll get a receipt. Now Psycho Stu knew he was going to give a receipt back, right? At the end of the match, sometime during the main event, whatever it was. They all agreed to that. He apologized and blah, blah, blah. But it wasn't just AJ that told him to do that. Everyone was egging him on. Even the promoters were egging him on. Not Rikishi, not friggin' Gangrel, because they're the two guys that technically owned this indie promotion. But everyone else was egging him, from the chat to, some wrestlers and whatnot. And there's a conspiracy going around now. People think that AJ Mann, not a conspiracy. There's some people that don't really like Psycho. What's his name again?
Psycho Stu.
Psycho Stu. Apparently, not many wrestlers like the guy, and this is part of the reason why they brought in Raja to sort of rough him up. Obviously, he went a little too far. That's what I'm hearing, man. I don't know how true that is. And if that's true, screw the whole company anyway, the whole indie freaking promotion.
Like I said, it sounds like it's a work shoot. Like that there's a work involved in this, and the kid went too far, and he beat the shit out of this guy and put him in a hospital.
Well, if that was the case, no one freaking clued him in properly on what a freaking
That's what I was
receipt
saying.
really
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Right? Because a receipt is one punch, say, not a freaking 22 of them.
Well, the receipt
You know what I mean?
came when he
Killed the
slammed
guy.
him down and he knocked him out.
That knocked
should have
him
been,
out.
That should have
That
been the
knocked him
receipt.
out.
Yeah.
Hold on,
Absolutely
Jimmy.
knocked him
In this entire thing, you don't sit there in a locker room conversation and agree to a receipt. You try to work through that as they did. Because
true.
in professional wrestling, you're going out there, and every objective is to protect your dance partner, who you are working with.
Absolutely.
You are not there to hurt anyone. And that is the
I
case
agree.
in all those individuals in the back. If Jackson was smartened up or not, obviously not, because I don't know how smart this individual is from the get-go to retain anything that might have been given to him, some of that knowledge that might have been passed on to him. He should have never been in that spot. Did he know what a receipt was? I don't know. But that does not give an excuse for the vicious assault that he perpetrated against Stu. You go out there, even if you're going to get a shot in, you take one to slam. You not 23 times. There is blame to go all over this place. And I believe once this eventually gets into a court of law, because there will be some legal action here, this it goes all the way up. I know some people say, Rikishi wasn't there. Why they keep bringing it up? It's his name on this product. He is a representative of that. He is a well-known figure. I think it goes all the way up for a huge mistake that WWE had in association with their ID program.
Well, they pulled it.
They pulled it, yeah, straight away.
They should shut down. Ben was talking about this yesterday. I agree wholeheartedly. They should shut down this ID program immediately. WWE decades separating itself from the indies, where they want to bring in their own crop, their own talents to train them their way to avoid this carny as fuck bullshit that you saw right here on this level, from supposedly from guys that are owning these things, that have trained and passed on some things, that have been in that dance, in that game. This is corny as corny can get, that they allowed this to happen, even if there was beef or not. When you are bringing in an outsider for a guest spot like that, you have to smarten them up to the fullest, especially if there's going to be physicalities. They should be going through a training regimen of pro wrestling, hows, do's, don'ts, and etiquettes, and they completely skipped that. The Cowboy Samoan, he is just as at fault. Maybe more so than others here, but that's no reason to pass the buck from Jackson here, because of his ignorance is not an excuse. You've got a guy
that
in the
I agree
hospital
with.
here that was viciously beaten, and then we have the only person with any sense that just got done with his match who was still trying to catch his breath. You know, his statement came out this morning. He's blown up. He's the only one that returns to the ring. That locker room is full of a bunch of coward bastards to turn their
Cowards,
back.
bro, straight up.
And now we've got reports that the promotion itself is silencing the students there, saying no one talked to the authorities.
To the
We're only
cops,
letting
yeah.
a select few handle this thing. That's an absolute joke, and it's an embarrassment here to professional wrestling. And it's crossed over. It's just not in the wrestling circles, the bubbles right now. It's getting some mainstream press.
Mainstream's an understatement, Rick. It's everywhere, dude. I can't get away from it. And I'm talking about from guys that don't know what they're talking about, legitimately that are not, into wrestling at all, to all the wrestlers. I mean, there's a lot of wrestlers that are actually sticking up for Raja as well, man. I mean, Stevie's kind of one of them. RVD's another one.
I saw Van Dam was saying tune in. I didn't know if he was just clickbaiting. I didn't get to listen to Stevie's. I would be interested. Did Stevie make any comparisons to things that happened with New Jack back in the day at ECW?
I don't think he did, but people are saying this is like the mass transit incident when you think about it, right? I mean, it's close.
That kid went in there and presented himself as a seasoned professional that he knew everything.
He lied.
But still, New Jack to take those liberties. I think it's probably been a worse situation what New Jack did to Grimes. When he tried, admittedly he was going to said, "I want to kill this son of a bitch" when he threw him off that scaffolding.
Dude, that's ridiculous, man. That is just, I can't even believe that even happened. You know what I mean? But the thing is, yes, he's accountable. Don't get me wrong, but I blame a lot of other people for encouraging him, though, too, man. And that's why this whole promotion needs to just. Sorry, mate, go for it.
No, I was just agreeing with you. And Revamp says that one wrestler from Knox has spoken up about it, and he's quitting the company.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. That's what Rick was talking about just now.
Yeah, no, I'm saying that I agree. Like they need to shut it down.
You should check that out, actually, if you haven't. I know a lot of people have. I know you have, Rick, obviously. What was his name, that wrestler again? I forgot his name.
I can't remember off the top of my head. I actually sent you the link in your DMs. MSG.
Yeah, I watched it already. I had watched it already.
Yeah.
But I forgot his name. But the point is, man, the guy started crying, man. Like, that's how, like, how much it really affected him, man. And he said, fuck that company. Like, he's never... What they did to him was sad, dude. But thank God for him, because everyone was a bunch of bitches. When the ref wasn't doing anything, no one was doing anything until he came out and friggin', done something. And thank God he knew how to defend himself, sort of thing. Because like he explained in that video, when Raja went to do a takedown, he literally was able to block it. You know what I'm saying? Like, he knew what he was doing in terms of how to, like, stop doing what he's doing. I think he even bit him, dude. He bit Raja a couple of times, and Raja obviously hit him too. The point is, if AJ Mann particularly knew what Raja was capable of, and I'm sure he freaking did, you're a piece of shit for even enabling him. This should have never happened, man. It was all good at first. When everyone apologized to each other, it was all good. There was nothing like that going around. This kid is volatile, man. I mean, Rampage himself has said, I don't know if you saw an interview, guys, about what he said about his kids, which is so sad, right? He's got 2 sets of money aside for 4 of his kids, right? 2 of them, his Japanese kids, obviously to a Japanese second wife. His money is put aside for actual college because they're smart kids. And his other 2 sons, unfortunately, he's got money on the side for bail. I mean, who the fuck says that about their kids, man? I mean, Rick, does Daddy Rampage have a lot to do with this? Do you think he's almost just as much at fault in his son's actions?
No, I mean, this again, you're trying to pass a buck and look at reasons and all this. Jimmy, if I tell you to go rob a bank, I'm not going to get in trouble. You are. So, I mean, this is going to fall on the individual.
But if you knew, for example, Rick, that I was like that, though, just say, like, I would do whatever you told me. If you told me to jump, I would fucking say how high, right? Just say. You knew I was like that. And you are enabling me to do silly shit. Wouldn't you be part at fault too?
No, because you're the one that actually does it. He is an adult. You could tell through. And the problem is, I would say an adult. He is your typical what we look at with these millennials, where he was craving so much from that social media because they wasn't even bragging. He was like, "I'll go out and knock this guy out for 50 subs." And I'm sure he wasn't talking about delicious Jersey Mike's. He was looking for that attention to people giving some gratitude. The only time I'd ever heard of this kid prior to this is when Logan Paul's brother, Jake Paul, was on Rampage Jackson's podcast, and the son stepped in and tried to challenge him. And Paul laughed it off. Like, what am I supposed to do? Answer the call to every loser that wants to just get a little whiff of the success and a taste of my spotlight? This is an absolute joke here. I mean, this is a kid who's got a lot wrong with him. Unfortunately, it is of adult age that should be making better decisions, and he was easily manipulated into this spot, and he is going to have to pay for it.
Well, Kenny F. and Powers says in the chat, that isn't true, Rick. If you told a black guy you were illegal to go and rob a bank, you would be the one arrested while thousands protest for the bank robbers' rights. I mean, come on, man.
There's another issue here. I mean, we've got untrained, unreliable, and unstable outsiders stepping into the professional wrestling ring.
That's another issue.
5 months ago, it's happened on one of the biggest stages in the sport, in a WWE ring. They had a half-ass rapper or whatever, Travis Scott, go in there and just potato one of the faces of the company. And now here we are months later with a WWE ID promotion, where we see something very similar. 23 shots to the head to this Stu guy here.
That's crazy, man.
I even think a lot of, we were talking about that video, Jimmy, where it is that staged, did they smarten up that Jackson kid or whatever? I think a lot of this is these sons of bitches watch that Unreal show and are trying to capture some of that stuff, trying to get their own gimmick stuff over. I think there's a lot of ties, and what wrong here? And that locker room, that company, it was just full of a bunch of people that absolutely don't give it and are just giant piles of garbage.
Boom.
I mean, you can't top that. I mean, it's true. There's a lot of, I just hope if he's going to go down, a lot more people need to go down also, man, with this shit. I just feel like it's going to be a complicated case, man. It's not that. It's not that.
I'm that legal
dry,
team.
dude.
I'm Stu's legal team. I'm getting him paid. Everybody's getting mentioned in that lawsuit.
But do you think somehow they're going to twist it for how it all began in the first place?
Well, if I'm the defense there, MSU, what do you think about? Like, I mean, the defense is just going to say, "Hey, this was a work. This is pro wrestling. This is what it's about."
I can see that too. That's the problem, bro.
Because Ben could even mention yesterday, like when you're like in a play or an acting, like you have a fight scene or altercation with someone, you can't just start really beating them. That's a little bit different. Where in wrestling, you're going to have to prove, that this wasn't part of the act that got out of control,
Yeah, and I can speak to the fact that, like, when you're caught up in the moment, sometimes things happen and you just yes and you continue with it, right? So, like, I can give you an example. Like, I was in a fight scene in a movie that I was in that we filmed a couple years ago, and I got thrown pretty hard and I fell pretty hard. And everybody, the director or the cameraman, everybody was going to stop. And I was just like, no, keep going. Like, that's going to be fucking awesome to see on film, right? So, like, I'm sure that there was some sort of, like, agreement that he was going to get in the ring and do something. But as you mentioned, it's a failure on the part of the promotions company for A, letting him do that, and B, putting somebody untrained in there who doesn't understand that pro wrestling is about protecting your dance partner, not putting him in a hospital.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. This whole situation is just nuts. I think there's a lot of fault. It's not just his fault. It's a whole bunch of people's fault. Whatever the case may be, this company, Rikishi's done, man.
Well, even
that's it.
Well, even I think Rikishi can bounce from this. I would hold the proponent, but Jimmy, you would listen to the interview with the gentleman, the wrestler that was able to step in and help out, and in his match, his tag team partner's daughter was there. It was just, they said she was like uncontrollable, like emotional. Too, a little girl just crying over this thing. So think about that entire audience to see this. And now it's getting crossover pub for professional wrestling. This isn't a good light to have.
Yeah, no, that's just so wrong, man. And you could hear the kids freaking out, man, during that whole incident in the background. And it's just sad that it got to this point. I mean, I don't know. See, I'm surprised that the cops still haven't even arrested him yet, to be honest. And I understand probably why they haven't, because again, there's a lot of gray area in this whole situation because of it being a professional wrestling. Is it a work? Is it a shoot? And blah, 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 and all that crap. And like you said, Rick, the defense is definitely going to play up like, oh no, this was part of the show and all that shit. And now, you have to prove how this was not part of the show. Obviously, you don't hit a dude 23 freaking times to the head and nearly kill him. And apparently he broke all his teeth as well, man. Nearly swallowed all his... Yeah. Now, I'm hearing all sorts of reports that he's awake, but he seems like... But other people say one thing. Other people say he's still in serious condition. Other people say he's almost like he could... I think they're overblowing it for money, bro, here in this part, because if he's awake, he's not retarded, all right? Like people are saying, like he's not a vegetable. He was in an induced coma for a very short amount of time. The swelling obviously wasn't as bad as other things, right? So, hey, wait a minute. I think we got the Ayatollah in the house.
Yeah, ooh, I gotta love that.
And by the way, Ben, happy birthday.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. Y'all infidels, that's right. Look at this lineup. Murderers Row on here. MSG, RBV, and Jimmy T, DJ Mass Effects. Hacker Hamin, the place to be on the Raw SmackDown review, I believe. What's good?
Ben, it just looks like we've been punched in the face 23 times. It hasn't actually happened to us.
Yeah, well, you worked yourself into a shoot, my dog. That's just how it goes, man. So I'm about to talk all about that on Master Shoot Theater with Vince and Stevie here in the next 10 minutes. We just finished up the Raw and SmackDown review, which what is there to really review? You know what I mean? So talking business, talking Vince's birthday party for Master Shoot should be a good time, man. But good to see you guys all together today. Shout out Big Ray. Not sure where he is, taking a day off. But
yeah, he's taking a day off for the week. He might jump on later. They're doing a lot of work. He's got work early, and that's why he's not here. But Ben, I know you and Rick were talking about what we were just talking about, the whole situation with Raja Jackson, obviously, and what's it called? Psycho Stu.
Yeah.
And I was just listening to it just before this show started, and I hadn't gotten to the part where you guys actually started talking about it yet. And so I want to know, with you, Ben, what do you think of this whole situation, man? I mean, is there a bit of a work into a shoot?
Work yourself into a shoot, right? So the promoters and one dude, AJ Mana, I guess, trains with Rampage and his kid, and that's kind of maybe where the connection was. And if you're an indie guy, you would want to entice Rampage to come do something on your show. And I guess it's the Samoan Rikishi's school or what have you, but it's LA. And I got to believe things work. The indies are the indies, where the boys want to act like they're over his shit. And with the WWE ID sticker on the door, it makes them seem like a premier opportunity for a streamer like Raja Jackson to get views, right? And I don't know about how much of a work shoot the can to the head thing was in the back parking lot, but it seems like they hugged it out. But then like all these other little videos keep coming up of like him admitting it's premeditated, this attack he's about to do, and that he's about to get off smashing a wrestler. It's something he always wanted to do, and he's put it on his live stream. And then he goes and does the spot that I'm sure they somewhat agreed on, the double leg to the Alabama Slam. But dude, then it goes into a complete assault charge of unabashed, unprotected, just trying to do serious damage to somebody. So then even afterwards in post, when whoever his handler was in the car is trying to just put it over his phony wrestling, they pull over so he can kind of come down from his anxiety attack that he just may have committed murder on camera in front of a live audience. That he even doubles down on stupid and says that he knew what he was doing. He was well aware. So some later some adrenaline or some blinded by rage, or temporary insanity defense is out the window. You can see bit by bit from the inciting incident where you knew you were a wrestling show where things are fake to then calling it out and saying, this is what I'm going to do, along with accessory to that from AJ Mana, kind of giving him the green light because he may be a locker room leader that's Samoan adjacent or what have you. Like, every bit of the prosecution's case is on live stream camera because of the addiction to social media, and that this is how this kid thinks he's going to get over being the next Logan Paul. And he might have the formula, but he sure didn't have the follow through in what it was if he would have just done his spot and not gone into business for himself and then carried it way too far, which I'm sure he regrets because now it could end up in serious prison time. Hopefully Rampage Jackson has his money right in a trust so it can't be sought after as much. And really this opens the door for WWE ID stamped properties for TKO and a lawsuit as well. So there's a lot of parts here, and you're dealing with a worker who knows how to sell and wants to get the most out of it, who will do what an attorney who's a fucking bloodsucker tells them to do. So this is worst case scenario in everybody who's probably involved in it. And then in this situation, there's a podcast with a guy who kind of came out and grabbed the dude first. Not the first dude, because that guy kind of got shucked off the bigger guy. Now this indie is telling them don't talk to cops, and they're doing it in Messenger where dudes are obviously screen shooting it. Why would you trust wrestlers? It just keeps spinning out of control and is going to be a major payday for Psycho Stu at the end of the day. And I wouldn't doubt that they shut down the whole WWID program because one bad apple ruins it for the bunch. If it can happen there, it'll happen at every other place, and it just ain't worth it after they're about to be sued for who knows how many tens of millions of dollars.
Do you think that like a whole bunch of people need to be held accountable here, Ben? Like I'm talking about from
otherwise, what is WWID? Oh, you're an ex-WWE guy with an indie school, and we want you to do a Legends deal and a contract so you can make money off your indie because you got that sticker. It's got nothing to do with protecting the business, training the right way, especially when you got guys in your locker room on camera, Samoan adjacent, going green light to tune that fucking dude up. Is that what WWID stands? It should be the exact opposite of that. It should be the complete 180 of that. And instead, it's that. And if it can happen once, it'll happen again, dog. So that I think if it was me and I'm TKO, that program is done. Because I can't keep watchdog eyes on all of these things. And I can't trust those in charge haven't set a standard of excellence that we would know never to do that. So like the whole WWID thing is exposed as a complete shill. And just for over guys in the Overclick Club who have a fucking school. And it really, let's be honest, it was to get people to go to those schools so they also couldn't cherry pick them to go to AEW. Exactly. And if you were a WWID guy. So it has nothing to do with some level of excellence as we've obviously seen here in this example.
Wow, that's nuts. This is going to be a huge court case. That's a lot of those fellas. I mean, it's when this stuff actually gets going, it's going to be pretty big. But you know what I don't understand? Why haven't they arrested Raja yet? You would have thought they would have. It's because of this whole gray area of it being pro wrestling and what's real and what's not and blah, blah. Even though there's nothing fake about what happened here. You know what I mean? That was legit assault. I mean, you could say attempted murder even.
I agree. Why haven't they? That's an interesting why. Like here it is blowing up on TMZ. Like the kid's online 24/7. That's his life. Shouldn't be that hard to track him down. And what does he want? He wants it all on fucking for views. Like if you want views, you live your life for clicks, and that's how you're gonna get over. Like you got momentum and heat, you got to play it. But I would definitely consult an attorney who would tell you no, but say, yes, I'm doing it, but how do we set it up to make it look a certain way?
So, like, do you foresee like this kid pushing it further? Now he's in the gym. He's training his MMA skills. Like, I mean,
who's going to hire him, Matt? Who owns TKO?
Well, I mean,
who owns UFC? TKO, right?
Right.
That ain't going to happen now. Maybe you could go to Japan to like some pride thing, but he was 0-1. And just because he turned something into a shoot in a worked fucking match doesn't mean you're a tough guy that can do it. Anybody can sit there on their back with somebody on him in full mount, and then you get fucking whaled with one and you're out. What are you going to do? You know, it doesn't make him a great fighter to fucking shoot in a worked fight.
No, I wasn't suggesting that. I was more or less thinking, like, since he's all about clicks and views, the next obvious thing he would most likely do is show people he doesn't care by, like, you know, him training in the gym or, you know, going after another fight or like trying to basically show that he's not affected by what happened at this pro wrestling event.
Rick had kind of put out yesterday that he tried to challenge Jake Paul, and Jake Paul just brushed him off like, who the fuck are you? And that could be like some inciting instinct. He's like, tired of people calling me a bitch and da-da-da, because he couldn't get himself on the fight when he should have said, hey, I'm Rampage's kid. How do I get on the undercard and get shine off of you? Instead, he tries to go right at the top dog, and he has no draw ability, right?
Right.
So now this is just all hypothetical and should never happen, because you'd be rewarding him for fucking tuning this dude up. He should be going to prison, and that's probably what, well, I would say what will and should happen versus what, you know, is going to happen. But now the only draw he has is that people want to see him get fucked up bad. So you book him against somebody that's absolutely going to eat his lunch and leave him laying the same way that Psycho Stu got left laying. You got to go eye for an eye if you're going to do that. So that means he's got to take a fight against, you pick the opponent that could fucking murder him, you know, and just fucking pick him up and hit him again 4 or 5 times. So that's the only meat left on the bone. And anybody who brings him in, you're now hiring a guy that, could you trust him? I would never trust him in a wrestling locker room ever again. So that part of the career is over with. The fact that he's doing felony assaults on Kick, and he may be kicked off of that.
I think he did get kicked off.
Yeah, so that part of his life is done. So what value does he really have except for a freak show draw in Japan where they might let it go because they like putting dynamite on each other's underpants and shit. I don't know, whatever.
Ben, could you see this from, all right, so let's say this does go to court. I mean, it's kind of a dream here for the media outlets. You've got the son of a legendary UFC fighter. You've got the crazy Carney World of Professional Wrestling involved. This entire incident is just, it's hard to just make sense of what's real, what's fake. Could you see this, if this does get to court, TMZ coverage, court TV, everywhere picking this thing up? Could this get a backlash for professional wrestling like we saw maybe like the steroid trial, even with the Benoit incident? Could it be an overall where even like WWE, AEW themselves have to address this because they're catching heat at the top just for a bad look on the entire genre?
I don't disagree with it, but at the same time, if I'm this kid's PR and Rampage and them, and it's going to be that, like, the more eyes on it in the freak show, like, let's judge them in the court of public opinion, TMZ, that is probably the right move to fucking taint the jury pool, you know what I mean? Like, make it controversial, play the race card. They're going to do all of it. Like, why wouldn't you if you're a scumbag attorney? You know? So, like, trying to stay small and sweep it under the carpet is not the LA way and especially this whole kid's life is getting clicks. That means make a bigger spectacle, Michael Jackson at the courthouse spectacle of it now. Later, when he does 10 years and comes out and writes the book, then he's at least got something to pay off of that. You know what I mean? It sounds shitty, but this is what PR firms, these are the conversations they have.
Instead
so
of
it's a very valid
Rampage,
question.
we get redemption Jackson.
Right. And he's born again Christian, and then him and Stu are singing fucking hallelujah together 10. Yeah, from now, right? Like the people want a redemption story as much as they want heat. We want to build them up, tear them down, so we can see if they can rise again and become one of us average humans, you know. And then the guy's on fucking tour going, don't do like I did to high schools. Don't be an asshole.
God.
I was doing cocaine. I was doing this. And now I found Jesus. And like, is that not what the fuck Shawn Michaels did? Hulk Hogan did? Like,
Sting.
Don't, dude.
Ted DiBiase,
Welcome to the Carney Hall of Fame, kid. So, y'all, I got to go do Master Shoot Theater. HMG, Bearcats out. Fucking you guys have a good day.
See you, Ben. Thank you, man.
If you're not Caucasian.
Okay.
Did you play that?
Yeah.
If you're not Caucasian. Anyway,
if you're not, only our truth is invited to Vince's birthday party.
Wow.
Mark Henry, get out of here.
All right. Do you got any? Well, we've talked about this now for 40 minutes. What other news do you got there, Jimmy?
That is the news.
As far as news goes, well, let's see here. Let's see if there's anything really worthy talking about.
There isn't.
Because really, after that incident, that's all that's dominated everything. There's really not much to really talk about. But
all right then. You ready to
let me just see one more thing. Let me just see one more thing. If there's anything, just in case I'm missing something. There's really nothing. I've already spoken about news from on the wreckage, for example. There's no point of really repeating anything right now. I mean, Rick, is anything you wanted to touch on? Just saying.
Nope. I already got one topic for the Smack Tech coming later, and it's completely different than this. So,
well, yeah, if we talk about anything, we'll save it for that because really, I wanted to talk about. I knew it was going to take a bit of time what we just spoke about. So, you know what, man? Let's get into Raw. Are you going to do it, or am I doing this? Wow. It's the Raw review part of this show. As a matter of fact, we're coming live from London, right? I find it funny, boys, that, AEW and WWE were kind of in the same country even at the same time. That's kind of hilarious, but it is what it is. But we start off with, of course, the OTC himself, Roman Reigns. Now, I don't know if I want to go in word for word because, Jesus Christ, this segment was pretty long. I was going to say acknowledging the OTC. But God damn it, man, the fans wouldn't let him talk. He drained that entrance just quietly too. He was taking forever just to get to the ring. But is it just me, Matt, or does he look skinnier, man? I felt like Roman looked a lot skinnier and thinner.
Well, I mean, he is shooting a movie, right? So, like,
well, yeah, that's true.
He's got to look at the character part. You know, he probably doesn't need to look as bulky as he usually did. So, trim down. Who was he playing?
I think Akuma, wasn't it?
Yeah, there you go. So if he's playing Akuma, then Akuma's got to probably look a little bit more thinner as a martial artist.
I guess, but, still, I just find it, man, he's been working at least, man. But anyway, he's just, playing around to the crowd. But what got interesting, I guess, is when the, good old Paul Heyman and Bronson Reed come out. Now, put your ones up for the tribal thief in Bronson Reed. What I found interesting was the whole Samoa thing between the two of them, how he's pretty much calling Roman a fraud, saying your tattoos are paid for while mine, basically he's alluding to like his family are actual chiefs and they were earned. You know what I'm saying? Compared to, actually paying for them. But, and also that his side of Samoa, because I don't know if you guys realize this, there's two Samoas. I don't know if you guys know, there's America Samoa, which all the bloodline is from, right? The US pretty much owned the east side of Samoa, and the western Samoa, where Bronson Reed is from, and where most, for example, like all the Samoans in Australia, they're all Western Samoans, not American Samoans. So Bronson Reed, what he was alluding to about Australia and how they got sent to Australia and whatnot, basically, Western Samoa was influenced from Australia and New Zealand, right? And Eastern Samoa is all influenced by the US. So you got one side that plays NFL and the other side that are a whole bunch of rugby players. Just putting it out there. That's how it works. No shit. But anyway, I didn't mind this segment. Like I said, I'm not going to go word for word. I'll be here all day after the first segment that we just all spoke about. But I liked it, man. I mean, Matt, what'd you think of it?
I agree with you. The beginning was a little long with the crowd. You know, Roman Reigns, Roman Reigns. Yeah, that was just a little bit too much.
The "you fat bastard" chant made me laugh.
Stand up if you love Roman.
Yeah.
Stand up if you love Roman. Yeah, like it was a little too much there. When he started talking, though, it was good. Enjoyed it there. I think I enjoyed Bronson Reed more in this segment. Thought he had a lot more impactful things to say. And I liked Paul Heyman's, little quips in there as well. I mean, it wasn't a bad segment. I liked how it ended with what was it? Them battling each other, them fighting, so it wasn't bad.
Yeah, it was a bit corny though at the same time, but you're funny, final boss engaged JT Fatu. Your character, man. But yeah, look, it was a bit corny, a bit cheesy, but still, it was all right.
I liked the pull apart. You know what I mean? It gave the feud something to like try and latch onto before they go into their match at Clash in Paris.
You guys are all characters in the chat, by the way. Rick, what do you think of this first segment, man?
We'll kick things off here. Absolutely love now that when they're overseas that we get the early start times with Netflix. You don't have to wait for the thing. You can watch it in the afternoon. So right when we had a little Monday night wars going yesterday. We had the late start with the locker room, so we were up against Raw, and we absolutely slayed them in viewership. Those numbers have been released by Netflix. We crushed them. But I do like that instead of having to wait later in the evening. We're talking about Roman. The TC1 brother, not OTC. It's the TC1 now. But I understand that prolonged opening segment because it's just like with children. You're trying to wear them out so that they'll go to bed at a proper time. So you're letting them go out there, get all their singing, get all the show hijacking in, get all the chants out of the way, and hopefully they just tire themselves out so that we can sit back and watch the rest of the show. Jimmy T, you're just dropping knowledge. The coffee capital of the world. And now we realize this match, Clash in Paris, much bigger stakes. Not just the street cred of yanking somebody's sneakers, but this is East Side, West Side, Samoan style. We got the same style whatever here. I liked it here. I'm intrigued with this thing. I want to see where it goes. Kudos to Roman for taking the time, if he is filming, to come back in to add a much-needed boost of star power through the product right now, especially coming up with the PLE there in Paris. I'm intrigued, just in the sense of, does Bronson get a big win here, or is it just a strong outing against somebody at the level of Roman enough to keep his momentum going forward?
I think that Roman probably goes over in the match, but then afterwards, the Vision attacks, and he hits him with his tsunamis multiple times, and that's how we write him off TV for X amount of time.
I actually think that's exactly what's going to happen. But does Roman need a win, though? I mean, it would be better if Bronson won, but I think Matt hit the nail on the head. It will be probably more than likely Roman winning, and then the Vision come out and put him out of his misery, literally, and he's gone. For sure. But I like the fact that we're having some sort of Samoan warfare, but the thing is, Bronson should have explained it a little better. You know what I mean? I knew what he was alluding to, but not everyone knows what the hell he's talking about. You know what I mean? So he should have sort of, laid it out a little better, but still, it was still a strong segment. I didn't mind that it is what it is.
Let's do a nice vignette maybe on the pre-show and going forward to talk about how Bronson was alluding towards his stripes, his ink was earned and not just a gimmick. So that, he is a real deal. So, okay, maybe they missed the beat there where it was some inside stuff, but let's build on it going forward, especially if Bronson's going to pick up some momentum heading into the fall season.
Oh, definitely, man. And it'll be huge for him to get some sort of strong, win over Roman Reigns if he does. But like I said, it probably won't happen anyway. But we end that because, they're just hyping up what's going to happen at Clash in Paris. And I guess it's this Saturday, right, fellas?
Yes. Oh. I thought it was Sunday too, but I think it's Saturday MSG, which is a major just wrench in my plans for the weekend. But
what time is it on for you guys?
2 p.m. Eastern.
Oh, so it must be like early morning for me.
4 a.m. for your time, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, that's pretty late, but still, I'll be up on the weekend for sure to watch it. But anyway, we go to commercial obviously after that, and we come back from commercial. We see the Judgment Day are walking backstage, and Dominic Mysterio runs into El Grande Americano. Oh man, I love this version of it. I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, Finn Balor's a little suspicious, but Dom tells him not to worry about it, and he and JD McDonough keep moving. I'm not even really going to ask you guys about an opinion of that because what is there really to say?
Don't trip, chocolate chip.
Well, do you want? I mean, do you have anything to say?
No, that was it. That was it. That's what Dom said. Don't trip, chocolate chip.
Well, there. That's it. I mean, Rick, anything to say?
No.
Did you taste the power of Mountain Dew? Anyway, we go to our first match of the evening. Now, I'm not going to lie. I was going into this match with no real high hopes, but god damn it, dude, I actually enjoyed this match. I mean, I feel like something went wrong here for a little bit. Was it just me, or did we see a part of this match where I felt like JD McDonough lost his shit there for a minute towards the end of the match, where he gave an open slap? I don't know what happened. It was right after that superplex off the top rope. You know how they both fell awkwardly, sort of in the ring? And then once they got back up, you see JD McDonough just absolutely open palm Dragon Lee right to the face, man, around the mouth area. And then these two just picked it up from there, man. And then it was just on after that. And then it was just a great match to top it off. And in the end, it was Dragon Lee that wins by pinfall via the Operation Dragon. But, man, no one cares about Dragon Lee, Rick.
Do they? I thought, this to pick up a nice win here to keep a hot streak with Dragon Lee, who I think has probably earned a lot of respect, earning those stripes there for, he did a tremendous job there at Triple Mania. I know he was kind of in that fatal four-way an afterthought, but a great showing. And he has stepped up in the last, 4 to 6 weeks to kind of help in that cross promotion between the new acquisition of Triple A.
Oh, definitely. And that was fun too, man. I mean, him, especially Grande Americano. I didn't know, should I say, Kaiser could actually speak Spanish. I'm like, what the hell, bro? Especially sing it. I mean, that's funny as hell. But, excuse me, I wonder what this all, does this hurt Gable when he comes back in playing Grande Americano, in your opinion, Rick?
I lead into it here. I mean, obviously, we're seeing the reaction south of the border. They are really digging the Kaiser's role under the mask here. He looks so magnificent with it. He's finally come into his own you could tell those early goings he was trying to figure it out. I would almost have Chad Gable come back as the person who is the most determined to figure out who is under the mask. Have him be the one on the chase trying to demask or unmask El Grande Americano.
Oh man, he's killing it right now. Matt, how'd you feel about the match? Did you enjoy it?
I enjoyed the match.
Are you a huge fan of the Kaiser version of Americano, if you want to call him that? But what's your thoughts anyway, man?
Yeah, I mean, I do like the Kaiser Americano, as I pointed out before in the past on these reviews. I think he's doing a heck of a job representing El Grande Americano, and I think he does it even better than Chad Gable, in my opinion. So I agree with Rick. Have Chad Gable come back. Have him be the one that's leading the charge on trying to find out who really is under the mask. Because if it's not him, then who is it?
Well, we still haven't figured out who the other two guys are, too.
Well, those guys were just guys in masks, security.
You think they're just
wrestlers.
Jobbers? Just jobbers?
Just anybody.
Still, it'd be funny if he investigates and actually, that'd be pretty hilarious, man. But hopefully they don't drop the ball with that. So far, so good, though. Nevertheless, it was a strong match to start, Monday Night Raw in London with a bit of a bang. And backstage, though, we see LA Knight is interviewed. He says when he thinks about what happened last week, he wonders if CM Punk didn't knock him through a table on purpose. But give him the benefit of the doubt. It was an accident. He didn't lift a finger and he walked off without helping him. He understands why Punk is getting everything into his orbit. He's a hungry man, but at Clash in Paris, it's a feast or famine, and the rations are limited. And that's it. And then he also talks about taking on Bron Breakker later on this evening, and he says, "Woof woof, dummy." Yeah.
Yeah.
Rick, anything to say about this segment?
Nope, just set up for later.
Matt?
I mean, it was a good segment. I mean, it was fine. LA Knight cutting a promo.
Where was he? In a diner or a friggin' disco? What the hell was going on there? But anyway, who cares? Whatever it was, the final boss engaged says they should bring in Roger Jackson as Grande America. Jesus Christ.
Could we get like this? Was there ever like a evil Captain America versus Captain America? Could we get one of those where it's just like Americanos versus each other?
I mean,
Yeah.
why not? What would you call it though? If you had to have an evil version of Grande Americano, what would you call it? Say
Trumpo Americano? I don't know.
Trumpo Americano. Trumpo Americano.
Relax, guy.
Yeah,
It's just China.
China.
Yeah, like that. China. He'd be like, it's huge. It's huge. But anyway, that would be pretty funny. But yeah, do something though. I agree. Like have it like a darker version of Grande Americano. Like instead of blue, obviously red, white, and blue, have it black, red, white, and not blue, I guess. But anyway, we'll see what happens there if they do anything. But yeah, decent promo. But next, though, we see a Rusev video package. And who gives a shit? Because really, guys, I mean, I don't care about Rusev anymore, man. They're doing nothing with him, really, per se. It's the same shit. He's pretty much the AEW version of himself. What do you do with this guy? Does anyone have any ideas?
No
I mean,
water, just meat. That's what's gonna happen tonight.
Well, I
That's
think
it.
are we getting an upgrade here? I mean, because with all the programming, all the shows, the premium live events, the special attractions, Saturday Night Lives, or Saturday Night's main events, we've got the weekly stuff with Raw and SmackDown. They have taken some programs and reserved those for certain things. So this has been pretty much a Raw Netflix exclusive. Now they are upgrading it. We are going to get this, which is likely going to finally be a payoff, which seems like we should have been having a couple payoffs with this one, but they're going to have what the Brawny Brook or whatever.
Donnie Brook match.
Donnie
see,
Brook
I hate this shit.
in Paris.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
anyway.
that's going to be on, highlighted on a PLE. So I think what's going to be important here is where do these talents transition from this spot? And I don't think only one's going to be able to move forward. I don't know really where that takes them. I don't think it projects either into him and Sheamus into like a mid-level title feud. They kind of been floundering. So, I mean, I guess if there's any interest, it's just where are they going?
I mean, personally, Jimmy, I'm actually interested in the match. I think they've done a decent job in regards to having these two big men like just brawl week after week, match after match, and we're finally going to get a conclusion to it. In regards to where I think they're going to go, probably some sort of a tag team. We're probably getting a Rusev and Sheamus tag team after all this.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I just don't care about Rusev anymore. And like Cold Blooded said in the chat, he's pretty much nothing without Lana, man. I mean, if they're going to do anything, go back to that. Even Rusev Day. Like, that shit was pretty decent right before he left WWE in the first.
What if
time.
they had Lana reappear here in Paris and then they just started giving Rusev and Lana the Cross and Scarlet stuff?
Oh, my God. I mean, shit. I mean, actually, that brings me up. Actually, I want to ask you quickly, Rick. Do you think this cross stuff now is just like is legit? Is he done with WWE? You think
He's legitimately, yes, out selling books. He's out pushing his personal products.
Yeah.
He's just back on the indies. Got a huge pop. Return to Game Changer. Now they've announced his first match is going to be House of Glory, coming up in October. So yes, I do believe all of that is happening.
Okay, you two actually, man.
I told you from the beginning this is a work. It's not a work. I'm sorry that he's been released and his contract's, up, and then he's going to go sell some books. Yeah.
Well, I think he would have re-signed if it wasn't for his, his girl not being re-signed. Because that's pretty much
that's
the
not
problem.
what happened. That's not what he said.
They did offer him a contract.
Right, but he advised he wanted to know where they got the number, and they were unwilling to tell him that. And then they also told him that they would sign Scarlett or get with Scarlett after they signed Cross, because let's be honest, and this is no disrespect to Scarlett, she's the sideshow of his act, right? I mean,
course, right.
Without Cross, then it really hasn't been a reason to have Scarlett. She's not off wrestling in the division by herself, trying to build herself up as her own character. She's just a side piece to Cross. So without Cross, at this point, there really is no reason for Scarlett. So I think that Cross is out there now selling books.
Maybe Cross versus Raja in the blood sport.
That would be good.
Oh, God. Oh, hell no, man. But like Lara said, Cross will take the Matt Cardona route. The problem with that is WWE still won't even sign Cardona, funny enough and weirdly enough. But it is
King of
what it is.
Indies.
I mean, he just killed him, man. He's making bank. That's for sure. And good luck to him. I mean, he's killing it out there. But anyway, we come back from commercial. Again, we see Judgment Day bicker amongst themselves about how JD McDonough match went south, and Raquel Rodriguez calms everybody down by saying Liv Morgan wouldn't want them bickering like this. Dominic Mysterio then suggests Finn Balor take care of AJ Styles tonight, and Finn agrees to go and ask Adam Pearce for a match as Raquel turns to Roxanne Perez to give her a pep talk ahead of her match tonight. Again, we'll just move on from that, boys. No point of really saying much about that. That leads us to the next match between Kofi and Penta. And you know what I do enjoy about the New Day, guys? I know no one really cares about them per se right now, but at least they put an effort. Like, at least they're playing up his heels, man. And when I say, like, playing up, it's not just the way they look, but it's the way they're acting. Like, Kofi's facials, he's totally healed it up. You know, at least they're putting effort in their facials and their look and just the whole act. And I think that's a big problem in today's kind of wrestling. When guys turn heels or baby faces, they don't go all the way. And I feel like the New Day are trying to legitimately go all the way and they're not getting the credit. Am I tripping? Am I wrong? Or, I mean, tell me more, Rick.
Well, with the New Day, you look at a group who, during one of the darkest periods, no pun intended there with New Day, of tag team wrestling in WWE, they have continued to remain at the top, to be relevant. If it's, just is competing in singles, tag team, still keeping that group together, absolutely. And that's what these guys are, man. They're absolute pros. They know what it's like to exist inside WWE when creatively you are continually giving piles of chicken shit and making chicken salad. These guys are some of the absolute best at what they do. I thought you were going to go a whole different angle on this thing and questioning, Penta again on a losing end here. Yeah. But I think with the shenanigans, Kofi, who is very accomplished, and as you said, we're kind of floundering around what do they have for the New Day, even though that they are brilliant in their presentation. It was nice to see Kofi get the win, but I think it does present where I thought you were going to go, Jimmy, is what is Penta's continued role inside of this company?
Well, I was going to get to that, but before I do, Matt, anything to say about the New Day?
No.
Well, anyway, the thing about Penta, all these guys, in my opinion, he's just, they don't know what to do with him, man. He's on television every week, but he's in no meaningful thing.
Yeah.
He's just there wrestling. They just don't, I think they're just waiting to, look, let's be honest, the top end of the card is pretty packed out right now, right? Mm-hmm. He doesn't fit there right now. So I think he's just in that waiting spot, for an opening for him to sort of move up a little bit. And so for the time being, sure, he's on television all the time, but whether he wins or loses, I guess is irrelevant right now, but they need to start doing more with him for the time being. But again, it's just too packed out there. What do you do?
I would counter and say that this is exactly what they want from Penta. This is the position that they've exactly hired to bring him into be. He is an attraction. He has a sideshow. He has a unique look. He creates that magnificent pop that the WWE has put into their business model when they are selling to major Metropolis eras to give them major breaks to come in for takeover weekends for advertisers. He sells a ton of merch. This is a case where they don't absolutely see the value and where he needs to win a lot of matches, where he just simply needs to be seen and be present with it. I do have some questions. I thought he would be used a little bit more in the cross promotion stuff with AAA, but that could be a case of where he doesn't want to be a part of that, as that is a huge part of his past. And he is, I'm here for WWE stuff. and that's where he focused at.
Well, wouldn't that be going backwards technically, Rick, for him though, if he was to do that?
What do you mean?
Like if he was to go back down to AAA?
I was saying that's maybe why they're not doing that. He doesn't feel that he wants to be in that spot, so
Right.
he's just content here as what he is he moves merch. He is an attention grabber. He is a spectacle, and that's what he is here for.
What about Waller, guys? What the hell? Is it just me, or does he look uncomfortable being part of the New Day or whatever it is?
I haven't got that vibe. I've gotten the vibe that they
I
just
did, man.
They
For
really
some
didn't have
reason,
anything to do
particularly-
with. He didn't really have anything to do after Austin Theory was released, or I don't know. Is Austin
Well, he's
Theory
not released.
He's not released.
But I don't know what's going on.
I think
He's
maybe
not
with
technically
Waller,
released.
he's just trying to up his game. As I talked about, the New Day is up here when it comes to performers, and Waller's trying to keep up with those guys right now, and he hasn't had those opportunities in the past. So
They
he might
muffled
just be a
him,
learning
though.
way for him.
They've totally muffled him, I feel like, man. I don't know if he's a troublemaker or whatnot in the back. I could see him being a bit of a loudmouth and maybe a little too loud for their liking, but I just feel like they've totally put the muzzle on him and he's just floundering right now, man. I don't know, but hope, because I feel like he's close to getting released, guys, but he's hanging in there barely.
Not
You know what I mean?
everyone's going to be a main eventer, Jimmy.
Well, no, that's true, but they did bring him in strong when you think about it, right?
Again, not everyone's going to be a main eventer. There's
Not
only so many
everyone's gonna be
spots
in it.
at the top of that roster,
There-
brother.
And there really isn't many spots available. That's the thing that sucks, man. It is what it is. Nevertheless, Kofi does get the window via the Trouble in Paradise in a decent match. And for like we were saying before, man, like you said, Rick, the absolute pros. And I'm enjoying the way they present themselves, dude, the way they do their work, because a lot of wrestlers should learn from the New Day, man, legitly. And I'm not talking about just by their look, just how to actually be a heel. You know what I mean? Like actually how to do it properly. And because they're just good at it, man. They just know what they're doing. Labrat says turn Waller into an exotico. I mean, come on, bro. Oh, no. We don't need any. Well, anyway, look, each to their own. I'm not really into, but like Zane says, Labrat tripping. Tripping hard. Anyway, let's move on, though, fellas, because we see some backstage footage for WWE Unreal, followed by Rhea Ripley and the Kabuki Warriors in Io Sky segment that saw Rhea bicker with Asuka and Io. Io then sort of storms off screaming in Japanese, and I know you know how to do this stuff, Rick, but can you reenact this spot? What exactly happened here? Because I was lost.
Every week we're getting this continued build here, but between everything that's happening, where we're going here, we've got we included we also got Judgment Day, so we've got this cluster of ladies that leads to our match, correct?
Yeah, but is this? I feel like this storyline is just silly, though, man. Like,
I think
Like, really
there is to write into some silliness into it to grab your attention. As you know, Ben's been putting over. I mean, he loves the writing style with it. He would even have done a lot of this stuff. So there is some tongue in cheek, and yeah, because you get those reactions from these anime type girls.
what was she doing? What was she screaming? She's like, and just.
Are you talking about last week's segment? Is this what we're talking about? The recap from last week?
Yeah, they were recapping.
Why are we talking about this? Let's get on to the current segments.
No, because it's freaking silly. Like just
Right,
looking
and
at
they
it
did it
still
again
makes me
tonight.
laugh.
So let's talk about that.
Well, fine. Let's move on.
Well, yeah, I'm going to talk about a segment from last week.
Yes.
I mean, come on, man. Anyway, we see Stephanie Vakir is backstage chatting with Adam Pearce. He says she's still number one contender to the WWE Women's World Championship, but that match won't be happening in Paris. He has an opponent in mind, and he just needs time to finalize the details. And she says she wishes she could be in Paris, but she understands the whole situation. Matt, I'll ask you this. Do you think they're kind of are they pulling back a little bit with Stephanie Vakir? I think they're kind of putting the brakes on this. It feels like they're putting the kibosh on her a little bit.
Well, I think it's circumstantial, right? I mean, she was set to be in a match with Naomi, and now Naomi's not there. So
Right.
that kind of puts a hold on her creative, and I'm guessing the let me line up a wrestler for you is more or less them saying, we need to take a step back and see what we're going to do with this character, Stephanie McCoy, as well as, are we going to put the title on her? If we are going to put the title on her, who is she facing? If we're not going to put the title on her, then we have to find another person we feel can carry this division right now. So all that encompasses that. So I definitely would say that they had to put a hold on it.
Well, I agree with revamped. WWE is kind of screwing Stephanie. Rick, I feel like they've been doing this even before she said she was
with her,
pregnant.
and you say that they put a kibosh on her. What did they ever have with her? She was, she can wrestle. She has horns, and she puts her opponent's head in her crotch and slams it to the ground. That was basically everything she was.
People love it, bro.
That's fine. I actually think Amina's Devil's Kiss is better over at AEW version of it. She made it a hell of a lot better, but they haven't done from the get-go. There was no character, no connection other than going out and wrestling, and they gave her a championship bout. They thought that was going to excite people. For obvious reasons, that has gone to the wayside so they can figure out a new creative direction. So yeah, she's back on hold here, but there was never anything overly to get excited about when it came to her character and her connection. And now they're just trying to figure out what to do with that women's title situation.
You know what? You're right. As much as a lot of the fans don't want to hear that, he ain't lying. I mean, I totally agree with what you're saying, man. I mean, she's just a piece of ass for you guys right now. That's what you guys are all
she's a very, very attractive lady, and she could absolutely go in the ring, but without a character, without a story, without a connection, no. And and that stuff that they try to, the rub that they try to give her a little bit there with Bella, absolutely backfired. Did not do anything, and we got Bella out on this show here to show that she's kind of lost here. I don't
lost. Well, as a matter of fact, that's the next segment. But before I do get into that, did you hear what she's been saying on her podcast, by the way, guys?
No. I could barely listen. Know? I could barely listen to her on the WWE programming. There is no way in hell I'm going out of my way to listen to her on any other platform. I would rather go outside and pour gasoline in my ears and strike 100 matches to make sure they continue to burn than to listen to Nikki Bella anywhere else.
Even if she says her libido is real high and she just wants to get screwed really good.
Yeah, I don't care. Burn my ears out.
That's what she said. I know Matt's looking funny, but that's essentially what she said on the podcast, dude.
Yeah,
I kid you not.
I'm good. Doesn't sound like a podcast I'm gonna listen to.
What's wrong with this woman, man? Well, who the fuck says this shit? She legitimately said that. I'm not kidding, man. But anyway, she's all for the taking, boys. Go for it. Anyway, that brings us to this crappy ass segment between Becky Lynch and unfortunately Nikki Bella. She tells the crowd they can boo, but this place was a big part of her journey, and it was 15 years ago. Blah blah blah. Her trial was right here in Birmingham. And it was a dump then, and it's a dump now. And speaking of dumps, Nikki Bella thinks she can call her out to the ring. She's not some loser or a dog who's going to respond to a whistle. As soon as she said that, enter Nikki Bella, mic in hand, of course. She asks why Becky's acting like a little bitch. And if she's not a dog, Link sputters. Nikki says if she's not a bitch, she shouldn't be afraid of letting her challenge for the title. Becky says she's not giving out title shots willy-nilly, and especially not to broke neck Barbie here. Bella says she beat her up last week and Lynch wouldn't be here for once. Anyway, enough of this crap. There's a whole bunch of I know you are, but what am I?
Becky might be a see you next Tuesday, which that sets Becky off, but Becky's just a coward of this. So Becky gives in, and we're going to get the match at the Clash. Of note here, I thought this was pretty interesting, though. Becky does try to generate some heat by pointing out the death of Ozzy Osbourne and saying at least he had the sense to take off for Los Angeles and get the hell out of there. Oddly enough here, from the mothership, there's that big acronym ESPN 1530, a local radio affiliate. I'd seen that they had posted Kelly Osbourne took offense to the comments made by Becky Lynch. She actually called her out on that, but yes, for all of you Spank Bank Bella Army fans out there, you can tune in to Clash of Paris because she's going to get an opportunity at Becky's Balls and Intercontinental Championship.
Personally, I'm going to say something. I It's not that I find Nikki bad. Well, I mean, she is not the best, but
She's the baddest, bro.
she's got some positive traits that she does. Like, first off, like what she's saying itself is not bad. And she does a good job of not like being overly animated when she's talking. But what she does do is she's a little overly animated with her body when she's like, and
Yeah.
oh my god. So like she's a little overly animated there, but like she just needs to slow down. She talks too fast. Like, and if she just slowed down and worked on her cadence a little bit better, her promos would be better. Like we wouldn't be sitting here and being like, oh my god. Like if she worked on how she like enunciated her words, slowed them down, I think it would be a better promo. But otherwise,
it's not like she was talking to Becky. She spends too much time trying to talk to the audience and garner that response from them on like things that she thinks should be a pop, and people just aren't listening to.
They're not listening to it.
Yeah, and that would really hurt her ego big time, man. She's the type of girl that probably cry about it literally in the back, but still. And for people that don't know, with the Ozzy Osbourne reference, Black Sabbath did start in Birmingham, funny enough, so hence why, Becky brought that up. But anyway, after that, we see CM Punk is interviewed backstage. He says he knows what's at stake, and obviously every man for himself in the title match at Clash in Paris. And he's just trying to help everybody get there in one piece. But LA didn't want to hear it. Jay wanted to go his own way, and Seth is the real problem. And no, he doesn't care that LA Knight fell through the table like a clumsy idiot. He's obsessed with holding the World Heavyweight Championship because it was ripped out of his hands. And Seth, Jay, and LA Knight should know that if he has to cripple each and every one of them, he will. And he'll paint his masterpiece with their blood. Whoa, are you scared, Rick?
He's bringing that thunder, man. He's bringing some excitement, and they're, as we've seen through this episode, they're planting those seeds of, I don't know, dissension amongst the babies, but the competition and the hunger for that championship that could give the opportunist Seth Rollins an edge against 4 hungry competitors.
Matt?
It was another backstage promo. CM Punk, not bad, not great, just
Punk,
just Punk, and they were forwarding the storyline.
There's a lot of promos on this show now that I think about it, but because guess what, guys? As we see Rhea Ripley making the entrance, we go to another break, and then what do we see? We see Sheamus gets an equal and opposite promo to Rusev's from earlier, where he claims that the Redeemer has lost his passion for the game. And he's just going around bullying younger guys. I actually haven't seen that, just quietly, boys, about him bullying younger guys. But anyway, but something changed, though. Their trilogy of matches, and he's awoken the fire in Rusev. Cool. That leads us to the next match between Rhea Ripley and Roxanne Perez. Good little match. I mean, they were brawling straight from the get-go. There's a few vicious punches in the corner. Ripley sends it flying into the far corner as Perez takes a breather. But anyway, we get a little chase going around where they're chasing each other around the ring. But nevertheless, Rhea does end up winning via the Riptide for the 1-2-3. Matt, what'd you think of the match, man?
It was a decent match. Quick little match. That's about it, man. I mean, like, I still don't understand what we're doing here with this feud between the 3 different factions, or 2 different factions in Rhea, because we've got the Kabuki Warriors and EO, and then you've got Judgment Day with Roxanne and Raquel, and then you throw in Rhea in. It's just a cluster of a storyline here, and I'm not really into it.
Well, I'll tell you why before I get to Rick. I think with Rhea, they're just holding her on standby for Australia, man. That's all it is. I think she'll get her belt back come October down under. That's what I think will happen. And that's what they're doing with her. So in the meantime, she's just on cruise control, man, until then. Rick, what'd you think anyway?
I think there is something to what you're saying there, Jimmy, as I think they had a direction that they wanted to head in towards pre-Naomi having to exit to vacate the championship. She was going to have probably an extended program with Stephanie. You needed something else to do for your mid card. That obviously was going to be the Kabuki Warriors against EO and Ripley. I think Judgment Day, a little the odd team out. They're going to be kind of fed to the back here. I'm not sure of the status with Liv, so you do have all those stories. As you do have this cluster here, you're probably going to get maybe some kind of tournament or multi-woman match for a big moment in Australia. But again, so much of a shakeup, so much to decipher to kind of work their way through as they come up with a new plan for that women's divisions. Unfortunately now for the ladies, just like the tag division, a lot on hold with not a lot of excitement inside of it.
Yeah, it's pretty stale at the moment, man. That's true. And you know what? Maybe she won't win the belt. Like Frank says, why does she need a belt? Who knows? Maybe that's when Liv Morgan comes back and screws her for, you know what I mean? That could possibly happen.
Liv's attention's going to be more towards the Judgment Day stuff.
You think so? Well, yeah. I mean, it will start off that way, obviously, first and foremost. Whether that leads, do you think one of them, is she still going to be part of the Judgment Day, do you think, Rick?
I don't know. I don't know when she's coming back. If she could get back by Australia, I'd come back and just put the belt on Liv. She's still one of the most over things inside this company, and she is going to be white hot as a big time babyface fans want to rally behind her when she gets back.
No doubt about it. Post-match, we see Raquel Rodriguez ends up blindsiding Rhea Ripley and beats it down as Rhea turns the tired headbutt pump handle. But this time Roxanne runs interference and Rodriguez gets the better of Ripley. But have no fear because EO is here to make the save. And, of course, we've got little besties. Can you do that little laugh actually for us there, Rick? I love that, man. It always pops me every time.
We are with me, I choose you.
Oh, my God. And then we see the Vision is backstage holding a mutual admiration session. What the hell was going on here, man? But anyway, Seth says he was right to pick Bronson Reed up and tells him that he's going to destroy Roman Reigns. And tonight, Bron Breakker is going to make sure LA Knight doesn't even make it to Paris. Yeah. This is the Vision, and it is everything they have dreamed of. And they're on the verge of becoming so much more. This is just, I don't know. Again, one too many backstage stuff. Not much really to say about that. Guys, if you want to say anything about it, we'll do. Just continue moving on. And as we do, again, I'm not even going to go into the Kabuki Warriors thing again because they're furious, obviously. But we see AJ Styles versus Finn Balor. And you know what? This match was pretty quick in some ways. But nevertheless, again, I'm not going to go blow for blow here, but AJ Styles does win via pinfall thanks to the Styles clash. AJ's starting to pick up some wins, guys. I mean, is he going to be due to get some sort of title match, you think, soon? And when I say title, I'm talking about Dom. Is he going to get a victory over Dom in the near future, man?
Well, I mean, next week they're having him fight in Paris on Monday Night Raw, right? So,
but do you think they'll pull the trigger there?
No, I don't think there's a reason to take the title off Dom right now. Dom is hot as a heel. People love the crowd. They love him. And then why would you take the title off him and kill his momentum as he heads into Triple A to take on Vikingo, right? So I think that Dominic retains the title here. What they're doing, though, with AJ Styles and the Dominic feud, I enjoy. It's been entertaining for the most part. This match was decent between Finn Balor and AJ Styles. I enjoyed the match as well. It was quick, done, over with, and AJ Styles picked up the victory, so he continues to look strong heading into the match.
Rick, what's your opinion on this?
Two former not just members, but leaders of the Bullet Club clashing here. These guys have some great chemistry, great styles that mesh in the ring. Good little quick match to get things over here. But again, through the evening, we saw AJ earlier getting the upper hand. We've seen AJ continuingly to build that steam towards that big championship match that we saw announced for last week. A great selling point for next week's Raw. But as MSG is saying, you're building that baby, getting that steam going. People tuning in, okay, maybe they're going to pull this trigger, but you have Dom just one more time, somehow squeak by to get out of that thing. He keeps his momentum rolling strong into the next Worlds Collide coming up here, early September. Interesting Friday show, but yeah, this was short, sweet, and effective.
Well, I'm kind of with Revamp here. Well, he goes to say, nope, AJ wins the IC title, then Dom moves to bigger things with the AAA Mega Championship. Only reason why I say that is because, first of all, they love AJ in France. If you remember that phenomenal, whatever chant they were doing with AJ last year, I could see just the fans just going bananas over him. And why does he need the IC belt if he's going for the AAA Mega Championship anyway? I mean, it makes sense for him to drop it and then move on to that championship, in my opinion.
I think as a dual champion, it works really well. You have a unique way here with Dominic Mysterio representing the Intercontinental Champion, a champion of North America, where he could be the most hated individual in professional wrestling north of the border. And we've seen they're going to love him down south of the border. He could be the number one baby down there, number one heel up there with championships representing great for the different PRs in two different countries for what they represent. I'm not a big time fan of the belt collector gimmick. I don't see that as this. I think he looks good with it. So it works. AJ absolutely doesn't need a championship at this point. He's fine.
I'm just looking at some of these comments. Frank Pickles Barrel's ass says Dom definitely is going to be champion Mexico with white girl Liv on his side. And he says, fuck the Francoise. Look, I don't know, man. We'll see what happens. You guys are probably right. I just sense the other way around. And cold-blooded, where's this you heard about him possibly having a broken leg? Because I haven't seen nothing about that. Have you guys heard anything?
That would be everywhere. I
haven't seen nothing about that. That's interesting. But anyway, we'll see what happens there. Everyone's Al Bundy hated the French. Oh, of course he did.
Everyone hates the French.
Of course. I mean, come on. I mean, who likes frogs, eating frogs? But anyway, backstage again, we see Jey Uso is chatting to Roman Reigns about his intent to become the World Heavyweight Champion again. Roman tells him not to trust CM Punk and stop being so uptight about it. He's helped everybody more than enough, and it's time for him to smash them all and take it to his house. It's not about being friends. It's about capturing moments and locking in your legacy. But that's just his perspective. And then you see him shaking hands, and, of course, they yeet. And we go to the break. And as we come back from commercial, we get another weird Bayley promo where her old NXT self tries to give her a pep talk. Kind of weird. Her heel self from a while back cuts in and argues that they have a big argument until current Bayley screams at them to stop. I mean, are we getting a devil and an angel thing going on here with Bayley? Has she totally lost the plot? I mean, what's going on here, man? What is this Bayley going to be, Rick? What are we getting?
I actually want to ask MSG here. How do you feel about the audience hearing the inner monologue, MSG, for in a situation with like professional wrestling?
I thought that this was interesting. You know, I thought it was well executed. Graphically, it could have probably been a little bit better as far as like trying to show like she's having a mental breakdown with the different color spectrums they were trying to do. But overall, I thought it was a good piece for Bayley to try and show that she is kind of caught in the middle of what her character should be, where her place is. So in this case, I think that the inner monologue probably worked. I think we've seen it in the past been cheesy and cringeworthy, so it hasn't really worked at all the times, at every time necessary. But I thought in this case, it worked really well with Bayley. I enjoyed this package.
Yeah, I like that. I was curious whatever his thought would be on it, because I enjoyed the package. I like the direction. I'm just curious if there could be better execution with it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Could we get a 3 faces of Bayley, basically?
I don't know if they're going to do that.
I mean, like some of the listeners are saying, you know, we're getting a schizophrenic Bayley. Like, for example, like where she's totally like had a nervous breakdown, and she, like, you know, one day you'll see her as the hugger Bayley, like the old school Bayley. The next week we could see her as another Bayley, and she's just totally lost the plot, like completely. Where she almost starts talking like R-Truth to little Jimmy, to a sense. Instead of talking to little Jimmy, it's obviously little Bayley or something like that. I feel like we're going somewhere along those lines, because how else do you do this thing with what they're showing and what they're trying to achieve here, man? it's kind of interesting to see where they're going to go with it and how they're going to actually execute it.
Stay tuned in to find out.
Yeah. Well, let's go to the next segment because
Main event.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, technically, but there is a lot of backstage shit. If you want me to skip all that, I can. So
Go to the main
it's up
event.
to you guys. Sorry?
Main event time.
Well, after a whole bunch of skits in the back, we move on to the main event. It is Braun Breaker versus LA Knight. I knew from the get-go where this match was going to go. I mean, it's just, I don't know what's going on with LA Knight. But anyway, this was a lot of back and forth. There was a lot of shit going on. We obviously we get, Seth Rollins. And, of course, he comes to ringside to run interference. Knight gives a chase, of course. And then Braun spears him out of nowhere on the floor. And then he brings him back inside the ring. And another spear he does. And then Braun Breaker obviously gets the 1, 2, 3 via the spear. Matt, it was a bit of a long one, but do you think the right man has, won? But I feel like Braun's just taking out everyone at this point. But does LA Knight need a little bit given back to him, man? I feel like he needs to get some wind under his belt.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, because that was my thought, didn't Jay win last week? Jay beat Braun Breaker in a Extreme Rules match. I like the start of this match where, it started with LA Knight and Braun Breaker brawling, but LA Knight having the upper hand. I thought for the good portion of the match, LA Knight had the upper hand and he looked really strong. So maybe that was their thought. Well, we'll just make him look strong, but put Braun Breaker over. I thought it would have been better to give LA Knight the victory, because now it looks like, Jey Uso can beat Braun Breaker. Yes, an Extreme Rules match, but LA Knight can't. So it definitely makes LA Knight look weaker heading into the 4-way match at the pay-per-view. And then of course we get the schmaz at the end with everybody coming out and beating each other up, and then the breaking down between Punk and Knight and Uso stands tall. And I mean, this was just a way for them to go home and set up for the pay-per-view match that's happening this weekend. But again, LA Knight should have probably won this match.
Rick?
All right, first and foremost, one of the big things that jumped out to me in my notes, whoever came up with this Braun Breaker t-shirt is an absolute moron. Fear the spear. That's the best you can come up with. God, this is so bad.
Have we heard that before? Fear the spear?
I don't know. It's something that like a 6-year-old.
Sure Goldberg had that shirt.
A 6-year-old could come up with. Absolutely terrible. This entitled Fatal 4-Way or Fatal 4-Way for the French speaking. I don't like this direction at all. I know they tried. As I mentioned earlier, as we saw play out, that they're trying to do some, can the babies coexist? Now there's heat between all of them here. If you're the Vision, you should be focused right now on protecting Seth and that championship, not letting Bronson go up to do something with Roman Reigns. You need a collective unit around your leader trying to not just conquer and divide, but eliminate the other 3 challengers, which they completely missed the point on that thing with just the brawling week after week. Really not enough time to let a story play out because these PLEs happen so fast. With LA Knight, I think that is the point. We see others picking up crucial wins. He is not. If it's by hook or crook, he just cannot get a 3-point. You can see the frustrations. He is at a breaking point. I think sooner than later, he is going to, where he's not necessarily becomes an ally of the Vision. I think you're going to see him ascend more towards heel anti-hero LA Knight, which will be another twist for the character itself.
Interesting. Can't hear you, Matt.
Jimmy, give us your thoughts and then let's take it home.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty intriguing with what Rick said. I kind of like that idea. I do see him going heel, though. As a matter, you're funny, Matt, by the way.
He's so over. I think it might be a little more anti-hero.
Yeah, no, I get you, man. And I think it's a good thing. I think he's getting a little stale, to be honest with you guys, man. And it's not his fault. It's just the way WWE are booking him, if you know what I mean, is the reason why he's getting stale. But I like that idea, Rick. I'm all with it if they go that way. But whether him being affiliated with the Vision, that's interesting. But if he is, say, I think he's just using him to get to the bigger picture. You know what I mean?
Right. I don't think
So
he
then-
will. I just think you're just getting a change in his character.
Right. Well, that's my thoughts. So in saying that, I guess it's time to take it home. So Matt, tell them what you're doing and what you're up to, man, and where they can find you.
You can check it out, South Park Pod, on all podcast outlets. Brand new episode drops every Thursday. We're taking a week off again this week as a brand for top takeaway videos, as South Park seems to be doing like every other week. They're dropping new episodes. So their next episode drops next week, September 3rd, I believe is what it is. So
I'm
check
not feeling that.
Yeah, I'm not. Last week's episode was kind of a meh episode. I mean, I will be completely honest. I did the top takeaway video, and it was kind of hard for me to do it just because I was like, oh, I gotta watch this again. Yeah, it was kind of a miss on this week, in my opinion. But it wasn't like bad. It wasn't as bad as, Great Expectations with the Pip episode. So nothing is as bad as that. That being said, South Park Pod on YouTube, hit the like and subscribe button there. I'd really appreciate it. Rick, what's going on with you?
Today, we are driving Miss Daisy at hands at 10 and 2, everybody. You caught us here this morning at 10 a.m. for your Raw conversation. We're going to be back at it here in a couple hours. A special Let's Taco About It Tuesday Smack Attack. We're going to go back and relive the Blue Brand. And for our off review topic, why does Sasha Banks suck? That will be our topic this afternoon at 2 o'clock. Or Mercedes Monet, whichever one you prefer. But yeah, get back here on the channel with us. We'll be back at it after a brief lunch break.
Did you say let's taco about it?
Yes.
Very clever, because it's Taco Tuesday, right? So, and we're going to talk about it, not just talk about it, if you know what I mean. But anyway, well, yeah, what you just said is exactly what's going on.
Well,
So
for
tune
you,
in
it's
in a
down
couple
under
hours.
Wiener Wednesday.
Down under Wiener Wednesday. Nah, what's Wednesdays? Nothing. No, we have Taco Tuesdays here, man. But I guess you could tacos. But anyway, we're not here to talk tacos. We'll save that for later, or for RBV Eats in saying that. But anyway, guys, you can catch us once again in a couple of hours from now, right here on the same channel, same network. And we'll be talking Blue Brand, as Rick said. But till then, I guess it's time to take it home. I am Jimmy T. He is MSG. And that's R to the B to the V. And you've been listening and watching. Wait a minute. Is someone else? He's been back? He's back.
Uh-oh.
We're about to take it home. But Ben, please tell us.
You did a great job, as always. Good to see the A-listers here. Big Ray all day. Hopefully you're having a good one. MSG, get ready to suck those balls. You see Rick down at the track, keeping it hot, eating that chili. And DJ Mass Effects, he's all AI generated because Australia's not a real place.
It doesn't
I'm
exist.
Hacker Hamin, and you're watching Hamin Media Group, where the best fans in wrestling reside. Here on the Raw and SmackDown review.
What? This is the Raw. I like it raw.
Oh, whatever the fuck.
That's a perfect ending.